Hello students, this is Neha Lakhera, your science teacher. Today we are going to start a new chapter of ninth biology, and that is tissue. So before starting the chapter, I have a question for you. Can you tell me what is the fundamental unit of life? Yes, the answer is cell. Cell make up the body of all living organisms. And we also learn about cell in the chapter of fundamental unit of life. So cell is the smallest fundamental and structural unit of life of any living organism. Now let's start the chapter with a brief introduction. So as you all know that we have a complex body organization starting from cellular level to a well developed individual. And if we look at the hierarchy of organization, we see that the cell is made up of tissue and tissue made organs and organs make organ system and organ system make organism और individual means cells मिलकर टिश्यू बनाती हैं एंड टिश्यूज मिलकर ऑर्गन्स बनाते हैं एंड ऑर्गन्स मिलकर एक ऑर्गन सिस्टम बनाते हैं और ये ऑर्गन सिस्टम मिलकर एक इंडिविजुअल बनाते हैं, एक ऑर्गेनिज्म को बनाते हैं. एंड एज फॉर एज सेल आर कंसर्न वी हैव स्टूड दैट सेल आर सो किसी भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म का स्मॉलेस्ट फंक्शनल एंड स्ट्रक्चरल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ को सेल कहते हैं. And group of cell is known as tissue, but it doesn't mean that you take one cell from liver and one cell from heart and one cell from another organism and you make a group of cell and you can't say that is tissue. Tissue means a group of cell that similar structure and having सिमिलर फंक्शन, स्ट्रक्चर भी एक जैसा हो एंड फंक्शन भी एक जैसा हो एंड ऑल्सो हैविंग अ कॉमन ओरिजिन इज कॉल्ड टिश्यू. लाइक आप एक हार्ट के एक शेल ग्रुप ऑफ शेल को हम निकालते हैं सो दैट ग्रुप ऑफ सेल वुड बी कॉल्ड टिश्यू. सो वी कैन से दैट अ ग्रुप ऑफ सेल similar in structure and function and also having a common origin is called tissue. And tissue is divided in two parts. The first one is plant tissue and the second is animal tissue. Now plant tissue is further divided in two parts. The first is meristematic tissue and the second is permanent tissue. So meristematic tissue and permanent tissue, these are the two parts of plant tissue. So meristemous tissue is responsible for growth and it's divided in three parts. The first one is apical meristemous tissue and second is lateral meristemous tissue and the third is intercellary meristemous tissue. And now moving to the permanent tissue. So permanent tissue is divided in two parts. The first is simple permanent tissue and the second is complex permanent tissue. And animal tissue is divided in four parts. The first is epithelial tissue, second muscular tissue, third connective tissue, and the last is nervous tissue. So we discussed the all parts of tissue, plant tissue and animal tissue in detail. Let's understand plant tissue. So plant tissue ऐसे टिश्यू जो प्लांट्स में पाए जाते हैं उन्हें हम प्लांट टिश्यू कहते हैं. And plant tissue are two types, meristemous and permanent tissue. Students, you have seen that plants have a tendency to grow and keep growing throughout their life. So this is because certain cells in that keep on dividing and they are called meristematic cells. So let's learn about them. So meristematic tissues, they are formed of cell that the ability to dividing continuously throughout their life and help in increasing the length and the girth of plant. प्लांट की लेंथ और उसकी गर्थ को इंक्रीज करने में हेल्प करते हैं. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स. सो फर्स्ट, दे हैव थिन सेलुलोज सेल वॉल. प्लांट्स की सेल वॉल किस चीज की बनी होती है? सेलुलोज की. सो मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स में सेल वॉल थिन सेलुलोज की सेल वॉल होती है. And the meristematic cells may be spherical, oval, polygonal, or rectangular in shape, and the meristematic cells are completely arranged, and each meristematic cell contain dense or abundant cytoplasm and a single large nucleus. And the meristematic cell contain few vacuoles or no vacuoles at all. So as you learn in your previous classes, plant cell में vacuoles काफ़ी बड़े होते हैं. इनफैक्ट जो सेल्स का ज़्यादातर पार्ट होता है वो वैक्यूल्स ही होता है. सो वैक्यूल बहुत ही छोटा होता है या फिर नहीं होता है. लेट्स talk about the types of meristemas. So we have three types of meristemas. The first one is the apical meristemas. So it is present at the growing part of plants. So plants की ग्रोथ कहाँ कहाँ होती है? क्या प्लांट सिर्फ ऊपर की ओर ग्रो करता है? नहीं, प्लांट शूट पे भी ग्रो होती है प्लांट की ग्रोथ एंड रूट पे भी होती है. सो it is present at the growing tip of the stem and root and increase the length. ये प्लांट का जो ग्रोइंग पार्ट है ये है स्टेम की टिप पर और रूट की टिप पर, दोनों ही जगह पर होता है एपिकल मेरिस्टेमस टिश्यू. एंड द सेकेंड वन इज लेटरल मेरिस्टेमस टिश्यू. It present at the lateral side of stem and root and increase the girth of plant. So apical tissue plant की लेंथ को इंक्रीज करता है, एपिकल लेंथ को इंक्रीज करता है एंड लेटरल मेरिस्टेमस ये गर्थ को इंक्रीज करता है. ये लेटरल साइड पर होता है, सो ये गर्थ को इंक्रीज करता है. एंड द थर्ड इज the intercellary meristemas. Intercellary meristemas present at internode or base of the leaf and increase the length between the node. ये नोड्स पर होते हैं, जो प्लांट्स के नोड होते हैं ये नोड्स पर होते हैं एंड ये इंक्रीज करते हैं लीव्स लीव्स के लिए जो बेस होता है ये इसको इंक्रीज करते हैं. Now, so now we can say The tissue that increase the length of the plant is called apical meristema's, and those tissue who increase the girth or the thickness of plant is called lateral meristema's, and those tissue who increase the internodes or the base of the leaf is called intercellary meristema. Now, let's talk about the next type of plant tissue, which is permanent tissue. So, permanent tissue, there are certain meristematic cells that cannot divide throughout their life. They actually loosen their tendency to form new cells. As a result, they form another tissue that is permanent tissue, and they have particular function except forming new cells. न्यू सेल्स में डिवाइड होने के अलावा सारे फंक्शन इनके मेरिस्टेमस टिश्यू के जैसे ही होते हैं. बेसिकली मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू later convert into permanent tissue. Now permanent tissue divide in two parts. So the first one is simple permanent tissue and the second is complex permanent tissue. Let's understand simple permanent tissue. So simple permanent tissue, these tissue are composed of cells which are structurally and functionally similar. So thus these tissue are all made of one cell or one types of cells. So सिंपल परमानेंट टिश्यू में सारी सेल्स एक ही टाइप के सेल्स से बने होते हैं. दीज टिश्यूज आर कंपोज्ड ऑफ सेल which are structurally and functionally similar. Thus, these tissues are all made of one type of cell. So, ये टिश्यू एक ही तरह के सेल्स के बने होते हैं. So, this is made of only one type of cell. So, we have three types of simple permanent tissue. The first one is parenchyma, and the second is collenchyma, and the third is sclerenchyma. So let's understand the difference between these three. The first is parenchyma. So this is widely distributed in plant body such as stem, root, leaf, flower and fruit. It performs various functions and also have distance further in xerophytes and hydrophytes. So let's discuss the characteristics of parenchyma. So parenchyma cells are living and process the power of division. parenchyma cells alive होते हैं and ये इनमें डिवीजन की कैपेसिटी होती है. The cells are rounded or isochromatic, that is equally expand in all sides, and the parenchymatous cells are over, rounded, polygonal or elongated in shape. किसी भी शेप में हो सकते हैं. And the cell wall is thin, enclosed but dense cytoplasm which contains a small nucleus. इनमें सेल वॉल थिन होती है एंड इनक्लोज होती है, बट जो साइटोप्लाज्म है वो डेंस होता है एंड जो न्यूक्लियस है वो बहुत ही स्मॉल होता है. एंड इंटरसेलुलर स्पेस आर प्रेजेंट. इनमें इंटरसेलुलर स्पेस होता है. यू कैन सी इन द डायग्राम, इनमें इंटरसेलुलर स्पेस होता है. And this is the main difference between parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. So, so beside of these characteristics, we also have some characters of parenchyma, or we can say function of parenchyma. So parenchyma is a food storage tissue, and it helps transporting materials. It allows gases exchange, and it store waste product of plants. So and chloroplast is present in parenchyma, and that's why it also known as chlorenchyma tissue, and it help in performing photosynthesis. So this is all about parenchyma. Now moving to the next, collenchyma. So you must have seen that some plants parts can be bent without breaking. आपने देखा होगा कि लीव्स जहाँ से प्लांट से या स्टेम से जुड़ी होती हैं, उस पार्ट्स को आप जब बेंड करते हो वो बेंड हो जाता है, बट वो ब्रेक नहीं होता है, बेंड हो जाता है. सो दिस feature is due to the presence of a mechanical tissue called collenchyma, and they are generally found in below epidermis of dicot stem and petioles. They also occur in midribs of dicot leaves but are absent in monocots. So let's understand the characteristics of collenchyma. So they are living cell. So so parenchyma and collenchyma both are living cells, and they are characterized by the division of extracellulose at the corners of the cells, and the intercellular space are generally absent. पैरेन्काइमा में इंटरसेलुलर स्पेस होता है, but so you can see in the diagram there is no intercellular space between the cells. So this is a major difference between um, parenchyma and collenchyma. So intercellular space is found in parenchyma and absent in collenchyma. So let's see the function of collenchyma. It is a mechanical tissue, so it provides mechanical support to plants and its parts, and it also provides strength and flexibility. So plants में जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी होती है, प्लांट्स की स्ट्रेंथ होती है, वो कॉलनकाइमा के कारण होती है. सो लेट्स मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट, स्क्लेरेनकाइमा. सो you all have used and see coconuts for various purpose, like performing some rituals for eating, drinking coconut water, etc. So the husk that is found outside the coconut, so look thin fibers, and it's hard, too hard. So this is made up of cells, that is sclerenchyma. The husk that is found outside the coconut look like thin fibers, and it is hard too. So that's why we use the thin fibers as to make ropes and rugs and carpets. So this fibers or husk, this is made up of cells, that is scleron. So let's understand the characteristic of sclerenchyma. So they are actually dead cells. So as we talked about parenchyma and collenchyma, they are living cells. and sclerenchyma is a dead cell. So this is a also a major difference between parenchyma, sclerenchyma, and collenchyma. And the wall of these cells are thickened and with deposition of lignin, and there are no intercellular space. So in parenchyma, parenchyma, there are intercellular space present, and in collenchyma and sclerenchyma there are no intercellular space. So these are the characteristic of parenchyma. So this is the basic difference between parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now moving to the next type of permanent tissue, and that is complex permanent tissue. The complex tissue are made of more than one type of cells, and all these cells coordinate to perform a complex function. So you all know that green plants can carry out photosynthesis and also absorb water and minerals through the roots. Can you tell me how these substances are transported to whole plants? Yes, you're right, xylem and phloem. So let's see xylem. So xylem is a complex permanent tissue. It, xylem and phloem are also known as vascular tissue. And जैसा हमने पढ़ा है xylem is a complex permanent tissue. So xylem have four types of cells: xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers, xylem tracheates, and xylem vessels. So basically, xylem tracheates and xylem vessels, they are tubular structure and they have vertical conduction of water and minerals. And so xylem parenchyma store food and help in sideway conduction, and xylem fibers provide support. So for vertical conduction, we have xylem tracheates and xylem vessels, and for sideway conduction, we have xylem parenchyma. So the basic function of xylem is help in conduction of water and minerals. Now talk about phloem. So phloem also have four types of cells. So they are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibre. And the sieve tubes are tubular in structure and they are perforated. And the basic function of phloem is transport food material to other parts of the plants. So, so xylem वाटर एंड मिनरल्स को प्लांट्स के लोअर पार्ट से अपर पार्ट पर ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है, लीव्स, स्टेम एंड अदर पार्ट्स में ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है। एंड फ्लोएम प्लांट्स के ग्रीन पार्ट से यानी अपर पार्ट से फूड को प्लांट्स के लोअर पार्ट में ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है। सो फूड एंड अदर मटेरियल्स आर ट्रांसपोर्टेड बाय फ्लोएम। आप इसे ऐसे भी याद कर सकते हो जैसे जाइलम और जैसे जल मीन्स वाटर। सो वाटर एंड मिनरल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का काम जाइलम करता है। एंड फर्स्ट से फ्लोएम, फर्स्ट से फूड। सो फूड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का काम फ्लोएम करता है। सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट प्लांट टिश्यू। लेट्स सी व्हाट वी लर्न। सो we learn about tissue. So, tissue is a group of cells having similar structure and function and also having a common origin. And we also learn about types of tissue. So, primarily we have two types of tissue: plant tissue and the animal tissue. And we also learn about plant tissue. So जो प्लांट्स में पाए जाते हैं टिश्यू उन्हें हम प्लांट टिश्यू कहते हैं. And plant tissue is also further divided in two parts, the meristemous tissue and the permanent tissue. So we learn about types of meristematic tissue and the types of permanent tissue. So and types of permanent tissue. So basically permanent tissue divided in two parts, a simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So we have two types of permanent tissue, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So permanent tissue are made of one types of cells, and the simple permanent tissue further divide in three parts, the parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And complex tissue are made of more than one types of cells. So the complex tissue divide in two types, the xylem and the phloem. So we also learn about xylem and phloem and their functions. So student, this is plant tissue, and we also have animal tissue which we talked about in our next class or a next lecture. But before leaving the class, I have some questions for you. So find the answer of these questions yourself and write the answer in the comment section. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. So and we continue the chapter in our next class. So till then students, stay home, stay safe, keep learning and have a nice day. And also thank you for watching the video.